This week's Incredulous installment will feature commentary from Comrade Scott, Joe, Chava, and myself. We have a smattering of news stories, like the wicked sus NATO tweets, Zelensky's outright banning of opposition parties and independent media, diplomacy by insinuation, the worst excuses for loan harvesting, the serious exploitation of minor league baseball players, pocket-sized nuclear warfare, the erasure of Russian everything, the rules of Baltic hate speech, Wu's proposal to limit protests, the 28 bus report, a teaser of what's to come, and the Fart-Shart Alliance. Please do us a favor and share this content.
But all the bad that we're supposed to be fighting, that we're morally obligated to fight, is all in the context of a global order that we enforce.
Yeah. No. People say they hate Subway. You made the sandwich.
Give him fuel, give him fire. Give me Joe. News is what I desire. Hey, folks. It's Epoch. Shit's still bad. Joe, tell us about how shit's still bad. Start with these NATO tweets. What is NATO trying to dunk on people? Are they subtweeting me? Those bastards.
No, they just keep tweeting stuff about Nazis.
Huh.
Like, there's this tweet that someone dug up that NATO posted on July 11th, 2017, and it's like a 54-second video about this group of, I think they were like Finnish soldiers, or it's like these group of soldiers who were like fighting the Soviet Union in 1946. And in case anybody remembers when World War II ended, it was before 1946. So like if you're fighting the Soviet Union, you're probably a Nazi.
Well, if it was the White Army, I mean, they were fighting Nazis too, but if it was the Finnish army, I don't know, I wouldn't call them Nazis either, though. You know what? This is why you need to listen to the podcast, Joe, because I went over this. I went over this in the last episode.
But also they've been tweeting a lot of stuff that has, about like the Azov regime.
He just doesn't care.
No, he's probably right.
What else have they been tweeting, Joe?
They've been tweeting about like the Azov battalion. They'd be like tweeting photos of Ukrainian soldiers who happen to be in the Azov battalion. They're like, oh, look at this U.S. instructors training Ukrainian soldiers on like military equipment just sent over from the West. And it's like they're all wearing the Azov battalion patches.
Yeah, not a great aesthetic.
It's like, do they notice this, or do they just not care?
Yes.
The Western media doesn't care.
No, they haven't.
Sorry, there's a lot of moving and shaking going on over here. We have two people over here, myself and...
Two-headed man. We're gonna...
Wait, have there been any more modern or like more recent NATO tweets that are suspect? Because, 2017, maybe some motherfucker was asleep at the wheel. Maybe they had hired some new intern, didn't know what the fuck was going on. But now we're in wartime.
No, the Azov battalion tweets are like during the war.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's like sus. It's like, it's literally happening. Like, everyone's been talking about the Azov battalion. Why are you tweeting photos of U.S. military people training the Azov battalion guys on like the Javelin missile launcher?
Yeah, what's that patch with that weird like sun on it? What's that? Oh, because there's been a lot of that. There's been a lot of black sun patches that just have like seemingly gone unnoticed by the Western media. And look, Putin's not a good guy. We're not pro-Putin. But like, actually, this reminds me. Did anybody see the Arnold Schwarzenegger video?
No.
Okay, it was like really top-notch propaganda. Just pro fucking war propaganda. It was great. I loved it. Yeah. He's who basically just entirely blaming Putin, saying that like there's no Nazis in Ukraine, saying that like there's no like problems with the government, saying that Putin's like solely doing this based on like aggrievement and like not because of like international pressure from like NATO and shit and like all this stuff. And like Zelensky has said that he's willing to like come to the table and like say that Ukraine won't be a part of NATO. And like it's the West that's keeping him from doing that, essentially.
To add sprinkle a little more context about like, yeah, they want to talk, but like it certainly hasn't helped that the U.S. keeps like funneling hundreds of billions of dollars of arms into the country. Like Jesse put it meme on the meme channel this morning. It's like,
we keep flooding the country with weapons, and we're all out of ideas.
as far as like achieving peace.
Yup. Like I said, that is the playbook. That's all we have. I will quote myself from the last episode. There is nothing that the United States loves more than to sell weapons.
Oh, they love that, and they love imperialism and resource extraction. Those are the three things we love.
Yeah, so on Saturday... Yeah, it was Saturday that it was reported. Well, Sunday, but Saturday in Ukraine. Vladimir Zelensky invoked martial law and banned 11 political parties, ideologically ranging from the center to the left wing. And this isn't even counting the fact that the Communist Party of Ukraine has been banned since 2015, the year after the coup government took power.
Yeah. That's just a coincidence, right? That must be just a coincidence.
These two things just happened to happen at the same time.
Yeah.
The year after the U.S. coup successfully facilitates a regime change, the Communist Party of Ukraine is banned as a political party. What a coincidence.
Yeah. They just banned themselves. They wanted to. They were like, you know what? This country isn't for us, I guess.
Among the political parties banned is actually the leading opposition party known as Opposition Platform for Life, which holds 43 seats in the Ukrainian National Parliament and is the leader of the opposition.
How many seats are there in the Ukraine Parliament in total?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's kind of a big ask, sorry.
Nah, I'll look it up. Ukrainian Parliament. There are 450.
And what number? How many does the opposition
43.
party have? Okay. That's still bad that they, okay.
Also, Zelensky has instituted a policy as part of his emergency powers to limit the information of basically all national TV channels, program content of which consists mainly of information and information analytical programs. So basically, he's nationalizing all of the news to be put under like state control, under the argument that like pro-Russian misinformation is a threat to national security.
Before we move on to that real quick, I do just want to say that the opposition party is the second most populous party in the parliament, so it might not seem like a big deal to remove 13% of the seats in parliament from power, but it is a big deal.
There's a part of me that's starting to understand why it is that, like, obviously, like, there's been the fucking, like, anti-Russian fear-mongering and, like, hate that's been stoked in the last, like, 6 years. But, like, Zelensky basically is the type of, like, liberal fascist that, like, liberals love.
Yes.
This is what, like, liberals crave from people like Obama or even Biden. Like, I don't know. Like, I get it now, so.
Yeah, it's totally that dissonance, that cognitive dissonance between, like, Russia is doing corruption and interfering with elections, but then also the United States is exactly doing that in Ukraine and backing it up with insane military might. But the United States has NATO, and Russia doesn't.
Yeah.
That's the inciting event for this entire fucking thing, really.
I mean, the whole reason for NATO's existence is to snuff Russia out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
it kind of succeeded already. Like, it dissolved the Soviet Union already.
Exactly.
It doesn't have anything to fucking do.
I just imagine, like, you go into the NATO office and there's just this big charter that just has, like, one box and it just says, like, dissolve the Soviet Union. And it's like, they checked off that box long ago and they've been like, should we shutter this place? And they're like, maybe we'll come up with another one, you know? Maybe. Or like someone like came in one night and like erased the fucking check mark and was like, oh shit.
Now the goalpost has moved from dissolve the Soviet Union to just basically just destroy any kind of Russian nation state.
Yeah, and prevent any sort of populist left movement from happening anywhere in the fucking world, which is NATO's other fucking purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. At least in broader Western Europe. So basically nothing changed. We still fear the same people.
That's not true, because something did change, and that is that there is no communist power on Earth anymore.
This is true.
That's what makes this really sad. Like I said last episode, like, there's no good guy here.
That's why when I think about this I think World War I probably has the most direct parallels in the sense that there were literally no good actors in that conflict. Everybody was, at best, a shade of gray, to put it very generously. Like, everybody was a bad actor involved.
Yeah,
That's
pretty much.
true.
Yeah.
World War I was the definition of moral ambiguity, and that's more or less what this is.
The fucked up thing also about Ukraine and NATO membership is, like, the United States has no intentions of including Ukraine in NATO. This is all political theater.
Yeah, like, that's like a cruelty to do to fucking Ukraine, though. To, like, as the United States, be like, we're on your side, but then, like, not, you know? It just
The
doesn't make sense.
expectation is that they have to play along with that, like, false extension of good faith, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, the fucking president of Ukraine is a guy who played the president on TV. And, like, that's what he continues to have to do. That's his job still.
So he's Trump.
Or, yeah. Anyways, we'll move on from that comment.
This is a very, like, we're just in, times could not be weirder. Seriously. Everything
Yeah.
is so fucked. And I see a lot of leftists trying to figure out, like, what we can do to intervene humanely. And, like, nobody
There
has any
isn't.
answers. People can pretend to have,
Yeah.
like, some ideologically superior solution
Yeah,
to
exactly.
this, but nobody does.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're dealing with, like, international powers that, like, are so far beyond what we can influence. Like, and it's the unfortunate thing. Like, starting to found, anyways.
I really like, honestly, like, I don't, give Matt Christman a lot of, like, I don't co-sign a lot of what he says because, I mean, he's kind of a comedian, if anything, but he's completely right about the fact that the reason that, for instance, Joe, when he gave the rundown on the situation, the geopolitical situation, and the reason for Putin launching this invasion, the reason he gave that from kind of a neutral perspective is exactly because, like, that's not our fight to fight. It's literally just it's a material analysis of the conditions that led up to this and the consequences of it. Because we are not Russians, we are not Ukrainians. We cannot view this conflict necessarily through a moral scope because we have no influence in those governments, nor should we. If we're talking about, sovereignty, the only people that we can influence is people of America. We can hold fast to our own political humanitarian values.
Yeah, precisely. Like, that was also Will's point on Chapo, is that like as Americans, the place that we should be critical is in America, and the place where we should put pressure is with our world, with our leaders, and like what their decisions. Like, don't send anybody like a bunch of weapons and like stoke the fire of a war. Like, try to like create some sort of a forum where like the sides involved can fucking talk about it, or something.
Or at the very least, just get the fuck out of the way.
Or do something like that. Again, Joe, I think that's a little, but
I said at the very least.
I mean, sure. Like, what do you mean by getting out of the way? Just like leaving entirely?
No, I mean, like, stop like interfering into the process. Like, let the two parties try to work things out without like American manipulation or interference.
Okay, I understand that. Yeah, exactly.
The best that we can do as Americans is advocate for good policy on refugees. Because the only way we're going to help Ukrainians at this point is by letting them live somewhere safe. Correction. What working class Americans do must be guided by what working class Ukrainians need, and I am not qualified to speak on their behalf. What I meant is that asylum for Ukrainians specifically is more attainable if we're targeting present-day American political institutions. I don't really feel comfortable endorsing any charities, but given that a bunch of Ukrainians either cannot or will not just abandon their lives and hope that a neighboring country will accommodate them, Doctors Without Borders is an okay option, so long as we are supplementing our charitable contributions with some kind of direct action.
You know what I saw, a headline I saw that was really horrifying today? I think it was in The Guardian about how Europe has a solution to its labor shortage.
Use Ukrainian refugees.
Oh, yeah. That's real smart.
I mean, if they're taking them, that is.
Well, the white ones,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyways, war is hell, as my good friend Janice has said.
As my mom used to say.
War is hell.
I'm not talking very much right now because in this forum I mostly just like say short things that are true and I don't really expand on them.
I usually do that, and then I fill it in post, but I feel obliged to expand a little bit more today for whatever reason. Probably because I'm carrying at least half the weight in terms of, like, news items.
Carry that weight. Oh, my God.
Oh, fuck.
What happened?
We just got a fucking patron.
Oh.
Shouts out to Dan, who literally, as we're recording this, just pledged.
Oh, wow.
Thanks, Dan.
Oh, wow.
Solidarity, dude. Anyway.
So, yeah.
Joe, talk about China.
So it wasn't this. It wasn't this past weekend, but the weekend before that. It was like in the New York Times, and Jesse and I were talking about this in the Discord about how can it be private? It's literally in the New York Times. Like,
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, we're privately telling them as we tell this to a New York Times reporter that like we want the Chinese to stop helping the Russians economically or in any way for that matter, and we're telling them this privately. But it's being reported in, like, the New York Times and Reuters, so, like, how private is this?
This is what I meant when I said that bourgeois press does the job of, what's it called? Of, what's the word for the people that go into other countries and do, like, diplomacy? Diplomats.
Oh, that was great.
Diplomats, that's the word. Like ambassadors and shit. Like, we don't actually have to do anything. You can just print a piece in the New York Times and, like, that gets the message across and then some, you know?
Oh, yeah, we were talking about how that, like, also applies to, like, how healthcare policy works in this country.
Domestic and foreign policy.
Wait, how so?
Do opinion pieces, and then instead of actually, like, you don't actually have to get to the point where, you know, a vote needs to happen on the floor. Journalists can just pretend to be reporting about stuff that's happening in secret, and then in doing so, they're basically taking the first steps in enacting policy and having discussions on the Senate floor without anybody actually having to have those conversations.
That's also how the Biden administration gave up on doing any student loan relief. Was they were going to, and then I guess
Joe wants to talk about happy things.
Billionaire couple of like real estate developers personally asked Nancy Pelosi not to as a favor, and then that's apparently why the
How is that
administration
legal?
gave up.
We live in the dumbest fucking country.
Yeah, we do.
We really do.
Yeah.
How is that not corruption?
I mean, it is corruption. But, like, in this country, the definition of corruption has been whittled down to the point where, like, literally exchanging favors for, like, policy votes
Sex.
doesn't even cut it. Like, Robert Menendez, the senior senator from New Jersey, do you know how difficult it is nowadays to actually have the FBI investigating a senator for bribery? Like, because
How hard is it?
Bribery is so narrow. That he literally got charged with bribery and then was found not guilty, and he was acting like he's been like vindicated in a way that like he compared himself to like David and Goliath. It's like, dude,
He compared himself to both?
He compared himself to David in the story of David and Goliath.
Oh.
I'm David and Goliath. I'm gonna kill myself.
I'm a whirlwind of emotion.
It's me, I'm a whirlwind.
It's like literally having the bag of money being given to you is not enough to get in trouble for bribery now.
Yeah, I'm really resisting the... You know, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it.
Say it.
No, I'll type it in the chat.
He's gonna type it in the chat, folks.
Type it.
Well, he's typing it in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. The listeners will never know what we're talking about. Never know. But no, like today, like, so I work in the financial district in the Starbucks, and I'm like slowly just revealing where I fucking work and live on the show. Anyways, and I work in one of the buildings that does a lot of the financial fleecing of like the third world and shit. And I overheard these two dudes talking about like, one of them was like, well, China, they have to decide if they're going to be a part of the fucking world community or not. And I'm just like, motherfucker, what are you talking about? Like, China is leading the world community. Like, America is a dying empire.
China is its own world community.
I just like looked over at them and I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know what it is. It's like people in America really don't get what's fucking happening here. Basically.
Yeah.
So, and it, like, you'd think the people who are that close to it would understand, but like, I guess not. And that was what was so fucking like startling about it. These guys make their lives on like how powerful like these fucking international like finance powers are, and like China is already leading they're way ahead of us in so many things.
I think if they did understand, they wouldn't do it.
I don't know, maybe they would find it. They would
At least
probably
I'd like to believe
they would
that.
probably find another way to make money from it. So that's the thing.
The cool part about being a Marxist is that like you have to understand the world through the capitalist lens before you can understand, Marxism is basically critical theory. It's a refutation of capitalism.
Yeah, exactly.
Based on a complete understanding of capitalism. That's why the first fucking Marx's staple text, Das Kapital. You know what I mean? Like, you have to understand it before you can understand why it sucks.
Yes, it's very true.
And it is hilarious that people complain anytime you critique capitalism from a Marxist perspective that you don't understand, when having a Marxist understanding requires an understanding of capitalism.
Yeah.
And that's why
This is good timing for this plug.
I have started narrating Lenin's Imperialism, the Highest Stage of Capitalism, in its entirety. Patrons already have access to the first 2 installments of this.
That's a big one. That's a big text, folks.
Yeah. The rest of you will get it in a couple of months. Completely changed my perspective. So,
Not his behavior, but his perspective.
well,
I kid. I love you.
if you mean it, I mean, I still burp. I still have to burp sometimes.
Still burps on mic. I mean,
Still fart.
Burp on
occasionally.
mic. I just imagine my 3 of myself sitting behind a judge's table and holding up numbers that say 8.2,
Good.
8.5,
That's a fine
9.2.
mental image to have. That is my muse for farting. It's a staple of the Falco tablet household. You have to rate the fart. It's compulsory.
oh god.
You might think I'm kidding, but I'm not.
No, I believe
Why would
you.
we think you're
I believe
kidding?
you.
We know you.
If she farts and I don't rate it, she gets pissed.
As well she should.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh
Anyway.
man.
That's what communism is. Anyway,
Farting with your
partner.
Communism. Rate the fart.
Yeah.
yeah.
Would that be the episode title?
Yeah. Rate the fart. Either way. What is this thing about loans? Loan payments?
So private finance, SoFi's not private, but the loan refinancers they're basically upset about how the student loan moratorium is cutting into their profit margin.
Oh.
So there's this little passage from a Politico article that's in the Discord. Quote, SoFi, one of the largest student refinance companies, told investors earlier this month that the Biden administration's latest extension of the payment freeze in December was expected to reduce the company's profits by between 20 and 25 million in the first quarter of this year. The company is one of several private student lenders that in recent months have stepped up their fight to get the Biden administration to stop, or at least curtail, the unprecedented freeze on federal student loan payments that now entering its third years. The companies argue that the sweeping payment pause is a wasteful and unfair subsidy to borrowers who don't need it, and they're warning it will further exacerbate rising inflation.
Will you shut up, man?
No. That's all I gotta say, man. You know?
Indeed.
Yeah. Suspicious timing to care about rich people getting more money than they deserve. I'll say that.
How is it suspicious timing? Because there's a war?
No, I'm just saying, in all other regards, they don't care about it.
They're literally claiming in their lobbying literature that putting a pause on student loans is wasteful, inefficient because it gives aid to wealthy student borrowers when that money should be going to the neediest people. It's motherfucker. Everybody knows that if you're rich, you don't have student loans.
Just remember that, the United States military, the cost of that is, what was it, over $2,200 per capita?
Talk about talk about baseball. Jesus, Joe.
I don't know why Scott hates baseball.
It's not that I hate baseball. It's just that you have to talk about baseball on this program, and it's okay.
You just told him to.
Janice does have a point.
Yeah, it's your list. You posted it.
Joe, goddamn man, I don't hate baseball, man.
You complain anytime I talk about it, even though when I'm
No, I
talking about
hate your
baseball on the
fucking
show,
personal
it's about
interest. This is what it
labor.
is.
Scott presents your personal interest directly.
Yeah. Joe, I hate that you have hobbies and you like things.
Noted.
No,
Real
but
though. Talk about it. If it's minor leagues, we're not talking about the dudes that are just riding around on stacks of $100 bills. We're talking about people who ride around on.
No, yeah, you're talking about people that they're actually a lot of minor league players are broke. No, but that's what I was going to say is, Joe, I find the way that you connect these things to labor issues very interesting, because I would do that, and I have done that before with like the Iazio stories about like the labor issues in Hollywood. So it's okay. We have our interests.
Yeah.
Go on.
This is an effective way of communicating ideas about the economy, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's not.
This is exactly why Joe is like our PR guy for the mental health working group, and I am not. Because I don't know what the fuck people like. I listen to death metal. I don't know. What else do I do?
Draw.
You like cats?
Yeah, I like cats and death metal.
And you draw things.
You love
It's not exactly like easy to tie that to like popular culture. Cats, maybe.
Cats? Yeah, no.
But
Cats
how do
are
I tie
incredibly
cats,
populist
economy,
creature.
and popular culture? That's hard. That's a hard triplet to do. Unless I talk about like we should nationalize pet insurance or something like that, and just fucking nationalize pet healthcare. That's an idea.
Yeah, that is a good
Everybody
idea.
gets a cat.
That was part of the Medicare for All bill, is
Yeah.
is like nationalizing pet insurance and pet
Exactly.
healthcare.
No fancy feast until all cats can feast fancy.
I like that. All right, Joe, tell us about the minors. What's going on? What's the violations? How are they fucking my boys over? My boys
So
of
Major League
summer.
Baseball did not want to pay.
Ron Henley? No? Fine.
During the lockout, they decided that they just weren't going to pay the minor leaguers for spring training.
What is the status of the lockout right now? Is it still...
Oh, it ended like 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
The Red
labor
Sox
disputes-
are
okay.
5-0 in spring training so far.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, spring training, but okay.
Is that good news or bad news?
5-0 in spring training is not really, it's a wash, but like,
Yeah, it's a
seeing that they're
wash.
performing well early, it's promising, but at the same time, it could also signal that they are too eager and they might tire themselves out like by mid-season. Joe,
No,
I
I'm
know
not saying,
baseball, okay?
I'm not saying like a sports analysis, like, okay, I guess if you live in Boston, you could say like, yeah, it's great. The Red Sox are doing great. But like, isn't the whole goal of this to do like a labor stoppage?
No, the labor stoppage ended.
Exactly.
So what was the result of the labor stoppage? Did the players
Yeah,
get what
my
they
point-
wanted out of the
There was a new
contract?
collective bargaining agreement that was agreed to.
Okay, so was it a good deal or a bad deal?
It was better for the players than than the last contract, but like there's still room for improvement. It could have gone better, but
Like
it
the
also
IATA.
could have been worse.
Cool.
Could have been worse, but the players did get some good things out of it. I mean, Major League Baseball acted in bad faith the entire way.
How so?
They refused to even talk to the players union for 2 months and drag it out until like the regular season schedule would be like at risk of butting up against spring training, because you need 4 weeks of spring training, because otherwise they'll get injuries, as Scott already said, like tire themselves out halfway into the season. Like it's an actual like occupational health and safety
I
issue.
know sports.
Yeah, it's not like the Amazon workforce. You can't just replace people. That was supposed to be tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, that's why baseball players are paid so well. They have a strong union, and also it's hard to find a sufficient number of guys who can hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball on a consistent basis. If you're hitting 300, you are considered to be successful. That means that you are failing 70% of the time, and that is considered successful.
Yeah.
This is surprisingly
Like
relevant
it's superhuman.
to what I
Like-
narrated on
Like the average Major League fastball, between the time it leaves the pitcher's hand and the time it reaches the plate,
You
is
got it
4
going.
100ths of a second. Which means if you want to hit the baseball, you have 1/10 of a second to decide if you want to swing at that pitch. It's not easy to find a lot of those people. So the players got higher wages, but they didn't get like the service time manipulations removed. Right now, Major League Baseball, like the way contracts work is that like you have to be at the major league level for 6 years before you're eligible to be a free agent. Until you hit 6 years of service time, you're under the contract control with the team that you play for. And teams have a tendency to try to manipulate that to like lower the amount of service time players have by like shuttling them to and from the minors during the season. So that's a problem that the players union wanted to deal with, and Major League Baseball refused to. Reduce the number of service years required to hit free agency. The players wanted to reduce that number. The owners did not. In fact, the owners were actually crying about how, mind you, the owners of all 30 ball clubs are all billionaires. And they're whining about how unprofitable owning a baseball team is. It was funny, there was a tweet near the end of the lockout where the tweet went something along the lines of like,
Major League Baseball owners, like, shaking out their pockets to show the players how they have no money and an Apple TV deal falls out of it.
Yeah, if that's fucking true, why don't you sell it to the players?
Yeah, I know. And it's funny, they whine about how unprofitable it is, but some of the major league teams are owned by publicly owned companies, and publicly traded companies are required by federal law to disclose their finances every fiscal quarter. And the Atlanta Braves, who actually won the World Series this year, are owned by a publicly traded company known as Liberty Media. Liberty Media, conveniently for us, were quite detailed in their financial disclosure. The Braves made about $900 million. They actually were pretty bad the first half of the season, and in the first half of the season, the Braves made nearly $500 million before they even started doing well. So, excuse me how $800 million in revenue for one team is unprofitable.
Because stonks.
When you've got a payroll of like $140 million for the players on that specific team.
Because taxation is theft, dude.
Yeah, he's right, though.
So the specific article is because Major League Baseball decided that they just weren't going to pay the minor leaguers for spring training.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
And they got sued, and Major League Baseball lost because they violated Arizona minimum wage laws because they are full-time year-round employees, according to a U.S. federal court judge. So Major League Baseball had to pay about almost $1.9 million in wage law penalties.
Yeah, which now sounds like a drop in the bucket.
Yeah,
after you're talking about $1 billion year.
Major League Baseball is an $11 billion industry.
Yeah, they only had to pay
$1.8 million.
Oh my god.
Oh, and the kicker is Major League Baseball actually they have a legal exemption to the Sherman Antitrust Act. The Supreme Court actually gave Major League Baseball a exemption to U.S. antitrust law in 1921. So it's not even like Major League Baseball has like another baseball league competing with them.
Yeah, what I was going to say is that this actually ties into the first chapter on imperialism about monopolies acting like a sponge to soak up all the skilled labor and then setting prices for the entire industry. That's what the MLB is.
Pretty much right now. The owners have gotten to the point where they can't even hide the fact that they're only interested in profit. Even casual fans are starting to wake up to that reality.
Cool. Good shit. Sorry for being so antagonistic about it.
I mean, I could go on for a while, but like...
Oh, we know.
He could go on for a while about baseball. Ozzy and the Straw. Sorry.
I actually, like, the last week of the lockout, I, like, offhandedly said to my grandpa, like, this is why we need communism, to get the capitalists to stop destroying baseball, if for nothing else.
And then your grandpa was like, yeah.
No, he heard the word communism.
Darn it.
And he just started going off about how Venezuela is evil, even though I wasn't talking about Venezuela.
You kids and your Venezuela and your devil communism.
He's a simp for the Democratic Party, and at least I understand that.
He's a simp for the Democratic Party. He can go get COVID with Hillary. Hillary Clinton has COVID.
I was literally complaining yesterday about like how
Mark
it
the
blew up the welfare state.
Record date by that announcement that Hillary Clinton has COVID. What, Joe? Sorry.
I was complaining about how like I have to jump through all these hoops for like paid leave because the undergirding structure of like our welfare state for like government assistance is like designed to like make poor people suffer basically. And how Clinton blew up the welfare system, and he's like, well, what about Bush? What about Trump? And I'm like, I'm talking about policy, not talking points.
We're not
like
talking about Hugo fucking Chavez, Grandpa.
Spampa.
I'm not even sure he knows who that is.
In my day.
I would have loved it if Hugo Chavez would have been alive to see the U.S. begging Venezuela for oil.
Wait.
In my day, we didn't have to beg for oil.
Did you know that Chevron is a Venezuela-owned company?
Yes.
Now I do.
Okay. No, wait, no. Not Chevron, Citgo. That's a big difference.
Yeah, Citgo is.
I mean, I haven't seen it in quite a while.
Citgo? Where the cars go.
Wait a second. Isn't the big
Kenmore
sign, is that Citgo?
You mean the Citgo sign?
The famous one that now is blocked?
Dude.
By a new development?
Dude.
Really?
Yeah, Boston is so fucking overdeveloped that now the Citgo sign is blocked by new development. I'm not fucking kidding.
We are through the looking glass here, people.
That's like
for the fucking. There's this development that blocked the fucking like that mural of like the whales.
Oh,
it's famous. So the cultural identity of Boston is being taken away by development.
Good. Fuck the cultural identity.
Well, I fucking moved here because we have a cultural identity. Like, we don't got one of those where I'm from.
Like, I admit, like, there's problematic elements to Boston, and like, yeah, like, there's definitely like a racist history, but like, we need to like still.
I would opt for a new cultural identity, not dictated by fucking multi-billion-dollar development projects. But yeah, I hear you.
Well, thank you, Joe. Talk about the economy.
It's in the shits.
Oh, thank you. It says here it would be good if there was a nuclear war. What the fuck was this all about?
You're like, according to my own notes.
God damn it. It's been a long day, folks. Anyway. Fucking talk about it, Joe. I'm gonna fucking. Oh my god.
Yeah, the New York Times is like actively writing articles that are basically like the gist of it is like, well, nuclear war wouldn't be that bad, and they're only like tiny nukes. They're like smaller nukes. It'll only affect Ukraine.
What the fuck do they mean by tiny
like a
nukes that'll only affect Ukraine? What?
Tiny nukes.
If the Russians use like smaller nuclear weapons.
Are they writing science fiction? What is this?
The SNP will be okay. Just we can't go all Hiroshima again, but personal nuke, that's feasible, right?
Like, the reason why we use nuclear energy, like uranium, is because we know it'll generate a fucking devastating explosion, you know? So, tiny nuke is just a lovely little phrase there. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
it's just a little bit of plutonium, you know? Just a tiny bit.
The half-life is...
Which, by the way, like, fucking Hiroshima, only, like, 2% of the uranium actually fucking exploded. So, imagine if all of it did.
Yeah, imagine if the USSR had dropped Tsar-Bomba over land.
Yeah.
Actually, you wouldn't be able to imagine it. We would all be dead. Well, we wouldn't be dead. We just wouldn't be.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. In a few seconds, you won't even be matter. Oh!
It doesn't matter. None of this matters.
Doesn't matter. None of this. Yes, exactly. All right.
None of this matters.
New York Times wants a nuclear war to happen. What else is new, you know?
But it really is weird. Like, we've hit that point. I swear, like, the American pundit class is so housebroken. It's like, they're literally just like, yeah, you could, how bad could that be? Like,
yeah, just drop a fucking small thermal nuclear weapon on the fucking Donbass area. It'll be fine.
If arguably the two worst presidents of the USSR and America, respectively, if they could agree that nuclear war was bad, and we are no longer on those terms, something really fucked up is happening. If that is no longer an agreeable standard,
we're all screwed.
We've reached a new milestone of, like, nihilism, just market-driven insanity.
Yeah.
But anyway, in more uplifting news, just kidding, this is all bad.
You too uplifting here? That's totally off-brand.
When it happens, you gotta admit,
I am not mad. I am laughing. I am not owned. You are owned.
It's a good time to be a Posadist. If there are any, if any actually exists, if any of them aren't being ironic, it's a good time. Like, this is a good time to start cranking out those memes. We could be in, swimming in Posadist memes for the next few years.
Actually, you got a point. Yeah.
Holy shit, Jamie, pull that video up.
Silver lining. But yeah, so everything Russian is getting banned now.
Russian? Hardly knew him. No, it didn't work. No, sorry.
It's all right. It's a good try.
It's all right.
This article from Futurism here. The nonprofit Space Foundation announced in a now deleted note that, quote, in light of current world events, it would be changing the name of a fundraiser from Yuri's Night, and that is referring to Yuri Gagarin. Gagarin?
Yeah, no, Gagarin.
Yuri Gagarin, the first guy to do fucking space
the first
travel.
Man did the first boy to do it.
Yeah, like, the Soviet Union won the space race. Fucking get over it.
True.
Yeah.
And let's not forget Laika, the dog.
Yeah, Comrade Laika, in my heart
That
forever.
poor dead dog is still in space.
Poor Laika. We pour one out for Laika.
So the Space Foundation changed the name of a fundraiser from Yuri's Night to, quote, a celebration of space. Discover what's next, unquote. And this has gotten like a lot of backlash.
What's the actual event though? Was it an actual like Yuri Gagarin like celebration, or like I imagine they would have to change the whole thing if they're changing the name. So never mind. Yeah, you can keep going.
Yeah, like it's weird for a lot of reasons. One, the Soviet Union included Ukraine. So Gagarin is kind of he's like an international hero. He represents the Ukrainian people and the Russian people.
Oh, he was Ukrainian.
And he is basically considered a Ukrainian hero. So very weird to do this.
Yeah, it's like the fucking school that got rid of the fucking statue of Karl Marx because of
Like
this.
after the invasion.
He was German.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Who is a German man. So
Yeah.
this is what a Red Scare looks like.
Yeah.
The third such Red Scare.
You
in
had
this
many
country.
doubts.
Also, along the same lines, while we're banning humans, human history, we also got to ban cat history. So the
Who will think of the cats?
NBC News article here, the International Cat Federation has banned Russian cats from international competitions,
Are you fucking kidding me?
condemning the invasion of Ukraine as an unprecedented act of aggression.
Fuck.
So yeah, that's...
Someone used the wrong litter
I'm
box.
sure the cats had a lot to do with the decision to invade Ukraine.
It was the cat's
personally.
idea.
Oh my god!
I mean, I know they're kind
that is
of
the most
scheming.
fucking. That's
There's
so
something
funny.
going on behind
This
those.
that's an
shifty
Onion
eyes.
article.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Like,
an Onion article.
we
That's
live in like
ridiculous.
the pretend times. Like, this is the most bizarre fucking iteration. This is the
cool zone.
most bizarre version of reality that like the chips could have landed on. Like, what the fuck? This does not make any sense.
We live in like the worst possible timeline.
Or the cool zone. That's exactly what it is. The cool zone is a fucking moment where like jerk off bro dudes look at in the history books and describe as cool, when in the actual time it's just like fucking like terrible turmoil for the people who actually lived in it.
Like, what are some other examples?
World War fucking II.
Yeah, people are like, man, it'd be so fucking cool to be a guy doing this in World War II. It's like, no, it wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
World War II is the reason that I know the phrase war is hell, because my mother didn't live through it.
Or Vietnam.
But, yeah, just is.
The only reason Americans know anything about World War II is because the only war we fought in the past century that has like no moral ambiguity to it, relatively speaking. Like, there's a narrative.
Yeah.
Like, we fought the fascists.
We
So, like,
introduced moral ambiguity by dropping 2 nuclear bombs.
Right.
And rehabilitating the Nazis.
that's why I said relatively. 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago was actually the
Operation
70s.
Paperclip. It's mentioned in every episode.
Yeah, we killed like a couple 100,000 people in one day.
It instantly, like, just like vaporized an entire population twice over. Honestly, the most disgusting act that has ever been committed in human history.
You know, it says a lot that when Churchill was informed of the atomic bomb, he cried and was like, "This is a really, really bad idea." When you do something so bad that it shakes Winston Churchill to his core,
Then you did really good. You did like
Yeah,
a 10 out
and
of
you
10
did great.
atrocity. You
That
like dude,
automatically
you deserve-
means it was good.
yeah,
Just kidding. Nuclear war is not good.
an
like
all-time
he was the
atrocity.
worst war
is what you
criminal
did.
of the 20th century, and this is a man who was like shook to his core by like the idea of the existence of the atomic bomb.
Wow, this is really bad for Russian cats.
What breed specifically are Russian?
Oh, Russian
Russian
blues. We have-
blues.
Josh has 2 of those.
They're beautiful
they're-
cats.
Beautiful, not very friendly, but very beautiful.
Oh,
I shouldn't talk
speaking
shit
of not
about
very
sons
friendly,
and
by the way.
What?
Speaking of not very friendly fucking cats, by the way, we watched a video, and apparently fucking Paula's cats are fucking dickheads.
Oh,
Like,
they
they're just
are, yeah.
angry. And like, they're only like 2 of them ever live together because they're constantly fucking fighting or fucking. Like, they're just like brutal creatures of instinct and urge. It's incredible. I had no idea. They look so chill because of the rounded eyes.
No, that's
they have literal Disney eyes, and so they look approachable and cute, but then they're like apparently just colossal assholes.
That is the cat dialectic. Everything that makes cats cute is a result of some evolutionary advantage that makes them savage hunters.
Yeah, it's
100%.
It's true.
No, it's true.
All right, so moving on from the
Paula's cat.
From the
I still
banning
love
of Russian cats. That's
don't ban Paula's cats. That's all I gotta say.
That'll stop the war.
Yeah, all the cats are gonna go personally attack Putin until he turns into Cat Putin.
Cat Putin.
Imagine if that worked.
And then he'll have a crisis of faith. Shit. And then he'll be like, I can't keep doing this.
Actually, cats were used for like very specific operations in war, but we can talk about that in a different episode. Anyway, it was announced. Well, it wasn't announced by Facebook. They've been very quiet about it, but it was reported.
I think you mean Meta.
Sorry. So sorry.
It's fine.
It's been reported that Meta has changed its hate speech rules specifically for violent speech towards Russians. I'm going to read from The Verge. The outlet's called The Verge. It was first reported by Reuters. So it applies to Ukraine, Russia, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Slovakia, Hungary, and Romania. All of these countries can use Facebook to espouse hate speech against Russians to their heart's content, as long as they don't contain indicators of credibility. Oh, so they can't they can't make a threat that like specifies the time, place, and target. So that's fine. Totally fine to do Russophobia as long as you don't say like, I'm going to kill Vlad with a hammer at 3 p.m. in the den.
Yeah.
And that's how you play Clue. So yeah, I think this is sort of one of those stepping stones towards like legitimizing there's been a lot of glamorizing the Azov battalion as like the ultimate Chads of this conflict. And
newsflash, they are not Chads.
It makes me very uncomfortable that a literal, avowed fascist battalion is, I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about this because
Joe is the Chad.
You know what? Nazis are not good. I don't care what they're doing. In this case, they're killing people, so I would say that's not good. And I don't think that they're heroes. I'm so fucking edgy. Anyway, next thing. This has gotten pushback from the left and the right in Boston. Michelle Wu has proposed an ordinance that would prohibit protests during certain hours because basically since she got elected as mayor, these anti-vaxxer people have been like blowing up her spot and just being really fucking obnoxious to like her and her neighbors. So I understand why she would want this to stop, but this is like really easy policy to pick apart and say like, well, this could,
It's bullshit, It's too easy to manipulate.
Exactly.
It's too easy to like shut down like legitimate protests. It's like, I get it. I'm sorry, Michelle. I get it, but
It's just like bad press for her. I don't really feel one way or the other about it in particular because I know that the people protesting are shitheads, but like I also want to be able to fuck with Charlie Baker at midnight if I feel like it. So
come on, Michelle.
Come on,
Ma.
Harassing Charlie Baker's voicemail box is one of our favorite hobbies on this podcast.
Yeah, that's praxis. Listeners, I don't even have to tell you.
Harassing Charlie Baker is always a good thing.
Speaking of Michelle Wu, the 28 bus pilot, the free bus pilot, one of the very good policies that she championed and managed to push through. Every pilot program is essentially, it's a study. It's like a proof of concept. And the Boston Transportation Department study results show that the 28 bus being free is good.
Yeah.
They had much higher ridership. They had faster service. People who hadn't ridden the bus before reported riding it for the first time.
Oh, goddamn.
It increased systematic bus ridership.
What does that mean? Like all?
Nope, I read that part incorrectly. Route 28 ridership increased dramatically, experiencing up to 4,000 additional trips per weekday, compared to only a 15% increase in systematic bus ridership. So this is basically proof that you are lowering the barrier to entry for ridership by making the bus free. Big
also,
fucking
didn't
surprise.
making the bus free save the T? Didn't they burn through less gas because of the time that they weren't stopping to wait for people to feed in their Charlie tickets?
I don't know if that's true, but I
remember seeing something about that. I think in December.
Well, it was a $500,000 pilot, so I don't know if they saved $500,000 of fuel, but the increased efficiency that they experienced on the route, I guess you could argue that it's about equivalent. But really, it's just good policy. I don't really feel the need to pick this apart. It affirms what socialists already know, and that is making housing, healthcare, and infrastructure free is good. But the last thing I wanted to say for local news is the St. Patrick's Day parade really clogged up the city. And within that clog was a very outwardly facing group of neo-Nazis known as the National Socialist Club, NSC 131. And hopefully, if all goes well, we will have 2 comrades on in our next episode to discuss the ins and outs of this fucking fascist dorkery. I don't know.
Fascist. Well, I mean, there is kind of a budding fascist movement in the Massachusetts and the New England area that I am interested to hear more about.
Yes, our 2 comrades are definitely on the front lines against fascism. In fact, one of them did a full documentary on a group of fascists in the Boston area. Being
a person who spent some time actually researching fascism, that shit, I actually try to ignore it because it's a little bit too upsetting for me, so I try to don't get too into it.
Yeah, I can understand that,
but there's people who can.
But at the same time, I think it's really easy to convince oneself that fascism doesn't exist here.
America itself is a fascist empire, so
yeah, the mechanisms of capital are very welcoming of fascist tendencies, and fascism is absolutely intertwined with American capitalism, from the KKK to, the fucking police, to the way that the United States aided Germany in the war efforts, Operation Paperclip, the fact that the eugenics movement in America inspired Nazi Germany's eugenics program.
Literally the defense at Nuremberg.
Yeah. So yes, fascism, definitely not dead. That's why anti-fascism exists. We'll get into that more next week. Yeah, a lot of bad news. One piece of good news.
I apologize, as I just took a bite of food, and I couldn't speak for a moment. But yes, we'll have more on that hopefully next show. Next time we decide we record. In my presence, we have Janice, or are we Janice right now? Who are we being?
I think we're Chava right now.
Okay, now we're Chava. Okay.
Chava is a subset of Janice. Hello, I'm Chava. I'm the host of this system. Yeah, do you want me to do something you don't know or whatever?
Yeah, something I don't. I'm not so sure about. Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I like the theme song I did for Chava the best. So that is partially why I am partial to Chava hosting this segment. Not gonna lie, I'm just gonna put it on the table. Just gonna be transparent about that.
Okay. Darling, can you pull up those links for me? Oh, it's right here.
Right there, dog.
Yeah, but you gotta. Okay, can you?
I gotta put it in the fucking chat. I'm sorry.
Chat. Yeah. No, sorry. I didn't. That wasn't. Yeah, just please do it.
Joe's laughing at us, motherfucker.
only
it's a follow up to our fart, to the fart license plate.
Yes.
To the fart.
This is. Last week, our story.
Last time, not last week.
This makes me really sad, this update. I'm not surprised, but I'm still sad. Basically, this woman, Carly Cindy, I guess is her name. I don't think they even used her name last week. Yeah, long story short, wanted to have a license plate on her truck in North Carolina that said fart. And apparently, I think what happened, the whole story is that North Carolina has a list of things you're not supposed to have on a license plate, and fart is one of them. But for some reason, this like slipped past the authorities, and they were able to issue this to her. And she was like, "That's cool." But then the DMV was like, "No, you shouldn't have that." And she was like, "But I want it." And they were like, "Well, write us a nice essay about why you should be allowed to keep it." And she like went to all this effort. She started a fucking society called the Friends of Asheville Recreational Trails, FART, and like they made merchandise and they had a website. Her friends got all involved. Scott, you said that we couldn't find anything about this, but you said you saw something about
another woman got a shart license plate in solidarity. So
that's beautiful.
Now, that's great, and I want to move to that state. No.
Wait, what state is this?
I don't remember the state that the woman got the shart license plate in, but there's a picture of the two of them, like the locking hands thing, like the Predator meme. So.
And yet, listener, this woman was not allowed by the North Carolina Department of Motor Vehicles, or Division of Motor Vehicles is what they have down there, apparently. They told her she can keep the plate, just not on her vehicle. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
She fought so hard for this fart plate, and she can't have it. It's not allowed.
Yeah, no, if they made, like, just for, like, the fucking, like, what state is this again? North Carolina? North Carolina should just be like, oh, shit, egg on our face. Like, you get to keep it. Damn. we let you slip through.
Yeah, I think it's, like, it's not her fault that they fucked up.
Fart and Shart. The Fart and Shart sisters are both from North Carolina, and there's a wonderful picture of them.
Yeah, here we go.
With interlocked fists in solidarity with one another.
Oh, that's great. I like her vibe. She's got a good vibe.
That's the fart girl, and that's the shart girl.
I want to be friends with
the shart woman has a sticker on the back of her van that says "Baby up in this bitch."
Yeah,
which is so based. Just everything about it is so based.
It's extra based if you imagine it in like a nice North Carolina accent.
She's all tatted up too. She's got a nice sleeve.
Yeah,
like
these are some fine ladies here.
Yeah.
Like I said, call us. Tweet at us, and I will send you my phone number.
Yeah. Let us know you're there, fart. Or the fart shark sisters.
Carly, and whoever. They probably don't have the other woman's name.
Joe, click on that link. Tell us what you think. Click on the link. Tell us what you think, dude.
Click on the link. And tell us what you think.
I'm looking at... Oh, that one. There we go.
Love you, Joe. You love those license plates?
Yeah.
All right, good. We somehow got Joe to react.
License plates, yes, no. You gotta give Joe like 2 boxes he can tick.
I think
Joe, do you like me? Yes or no?
No, it's like Joe Joe's mind is like the NATO office where it's a big board with just one single check mark on it.
Well, it's perfect.
Once he checks that off, he's fine.
It's like when it comes to like geopolitical strategy, extremely nuanced. When it comes to like fart and shart, he's like, yeah.
I think that's the correct take. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
No, it is.
It's not a real nuanced issue.
You can't go wrong. There's a simple beauty, a simplicity to farts, sharts, burps, shits,
Fucks and what?
But,
what was that tweet or post that you made, Scott? There was some tweet that you made that was like every day. It was like I don't think I could even finish it. It's like every fucking.
I don't know what the fuck. What? You're laughing too much. You're ruining it.
Like
every day you fart and piss and poop and shit and fuck and be proud. I guess I said that once.
Scott.
Anyways, you said my full name. What the fuck?
Well, he's gonna it.
I'll it.
Hi, yeah, my name is Scott.
Hi, my name is Bleep, like every time for the next month.
You can find me on Sweaty Wife on all of the platforms. It's been a rough day, folks.
Scott and I put out a fucking song.
Oh, yeah, we did that.
Oh, yeah, it's a good song.
I had a leftover track that I wasn't doing anything with, and he took it and put his guitar and his vocals on it and made it a minute shorter than it was originally. So a minute of my work was taken out of the song. Oh, my God. But, it's fine.
That's not
I'll
true.
be humble
because you
about it.
repeated.
I'm sorry.
He's not upset at all.
No, I'm kidding. My songs get
Okay.
very long and repetitive. It's fine. I gotta work on that.
Well, I was thinking about that, and I was like, damn, like if I just played a little bit and then I just like copied and pasted it a bunch of times, does that count as a long song? Does that count as me doing a lot of music? I don't know.
Hurt my head over here. It's too much. It's too much. And he's Joe.
Hi, I'm Bleep. No, actually, no, I'm Joe. Sorry.
Joe's broke and tired.
Tired.
Broken tired.
There you go.
We love you, Joe.
That's how the new song goes.
Not like the rest of us aren't broken tired also.
Yeah, my dick's broke. What?
Tired.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
What are you talking about?
I'm gonna make it echo in post.
Oh.
Have you guys ever noticed how like Joe's giggle and my giggle are in like the same register?
Yes, I noticed stuff like this because when I edit,
Joe, where
Never
the
mind.
fuck can people find you?
We know about that thing that you were gonna say about
Can I really,
when you
like,
edit.
is it really worth the effort?
Yeah.
At gmail.com or some shit. I don't know. It's where you can find Joe.
It's probably
Yeah. Yeah, Joe's
That's my
Twitter
email.
handle is an
We definitely need to leave that out.
I'm doing a Jimmy Carr laugh over here.
Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr, he's like a British. But yeah, you're on Twitter. Where else are you?
I'm on Instagram, but I literally have not been on Instagram for like over a month.
He's on OnlyFans. Just kidding.
Oh, wait. Yeah, and then like, you're Chava, but you're right next to me.
Yeah, normally you would say something, but now you can just move your head. I'm Chava. There are 2 places on the internet where I'm going to encourage you to find me, and one of them is at readingsbychava.com. My name is spelled Chava. I should probably change that because people don't know how to pronounce it. So this is, I'll keep this very brief, but on Saturday, which was Shabbat, as you know, if you are a Jew, on Saturday I felt compelled to like wear my, what I call my Chava wig, which is my long brown one, and I was wearing like this white dress that I have, and for some reason my housemate just saw me and like addressed me as Chava, which, that's pretty close. I don't remember ever telling him about that name or any form of it, which I must have, but I don't remember it. So it was kind of like he just knew. He just like saw me and knew who I was. It was very interesting. Anyway, go to readingsbychava.com and avail yourself of the like extremely hyper-specific psychic service that I can reliably provide on command. The other thing I can provide on command is I can talk to you about life.
Joe, why are you laughing?
No, it's just like the way it was delivered.
I'm working on my delivery.
Okay.
I'm getting better at it.
The hyper-specific way I could do on command.
It is very hyper-specific. I read music, but not in the way that you think. Excuse me. The other...
I've been farting on the show.
I'm proud of it. The other thing I can do is if you're just like feeling really lost or alone or confused, like life doesn't have any meaning, or it did and you thought it did, it doesn't anymore, and now you're just like, fuck, what do I do? Or whatever. You want to talk about relationships, you want to talk about sex, you want to talk about anything. I mean, if you feel like killing yourself, you should seek help immediately, like from someone very close to you, and or call 911 and get them to take you to the ER.
No,
don't call me.
Call 911.
Oh, you're right. Don't call 911. That's right. Don't do that. That's a bad idea.
If you're in the Boston area, call the Boston Best team.
Yeah, you don't want the cops involved. You don't even necessarily want an ambulance because that shit's expensive.
It is. Personal experience.
Ideally, if you want to kill yourself and you have somebody who can drive you to an ER, that's the best case scenario. But whatever, don't call me. However, if you, in general, are feeling just kind of lost, you don't really know what to do and you just want someone to talk to and you don't have anyone to talk to, check me out on Facebook at Simcha Peer Counseling and we can hang out and talk about life. It's SIMKHA because the Goyim don't know how to pronounce the CH, which is something I've learned from having the name Chava. Again, I did not choose my name. It just is my name. And I can tell you more about that if you're ever curious. And he's Jesse.
I'm Jesse. And you can find my music on soundcloud.com.
And he's Jesse. Oh, I missed it. Oh, sorry.
Thank you. SoundCloud.com/contingence Boston, CONTINGENCE Boston. Hit up comrade-rosie.org, select that Getting Involved tab, and choose one or more mutual aid groups to donate your time, labor, and or money to, because people really need your help right now. And I do have a slam recommendation this week, and this is an oldie but goodie.
And welcome to the jam.
This album, well, actually not this album, but this band. This was my gateway slam band.
Oh, we're not going to hear it.
So... album is called In the End of Human Existence,
which some might say we are in right now.
And the artist is Abominable Putridity.
Wait, what is the name of it again?
The name is Blowing Your Nose.
Something about the end of human existence.
Abominable.
No, that's the band.
Yeah.
What was the name of it?
In the End of Human Existence.
Oh, okay.
And the name is Abominable
Putridity.
It's very like post-apocalyptic. But, yeah, they are unabashedly Russian. They are from Moscow. So while everything else is getting censored, you gotta show the world what fucking Moscow slamming sickness has to offer.
What if, like some new AI technology, like Anchor introduces some, like, new Russian technology, and so, like, when you play, like, you like, it gets to this part of the show, and it's just, like white noise.
Just replaces it with the national anthem.
Yeah, the Ukrainian national anthem.
Did you see that Google Translate has turned off the ability to translate Russian into other languages?
No.
Are you serious?
You're kidding.
I'm
Come
not.
on, Google, you pieces of shit.
You can no longer translate Russian into English.
This
on
is
Google Translate.
really dystopian.
God damn, folk.
Well,
going out at the end of the world with a fucking war and anti-Russian shit. Oh, man.
We're literally living in an Onion article at this point.
Yeah, fuck Russophobia, okay?
Okay.
I mean, Putin is not Russia. Putin is one guy.
He's a dude.
There's other people that live there, and they probably don't like him, so fuck you. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of, anti-war protests happening in Russia right now.
There are comrades in Russia that feel the same way that we do.
Yeah, go to Comdad. Go to Comdad.
Yeah, go come on your dad.
Hey, don't do that. Go to Comrade Rosie. Get involved. Do your part. Join a union. Join a labor movement. Do your thing. Salt and pepper and do it all. And isn't that
salt, pepper, and onions?
Yeah, onion.
No, I believe I was going by the labor. I was using the labor terms for. Anywho, and go to patreon.com.
Thanks for interrupting.
Go to patreon.com/epic incredulity for all your fucking bonuses. Like Jesse reading Imperialism, the highest form, the highest form of capitalism, or what the fuck it is, Lenin. I'm reading some serious Lenin. Go to swear to me. Yeah. Where is he? All that shit. I'm not wearing hockey pants. Yeah. I used to think it was hockey pants.
That's what I thought it was.
Hockey pants.
I'm not wearing hockey pants. What are hockey pants? I don't know. My brain thought they were real.
Bruce Wayne has better taste than just hockey pants. Anyways, why are we talking about Batman again?
I don't know.
Anyways,
all roads lead back to Batman.
Unfortunately, we are Epic Incredulity on Instagram.
Unfortunately, we are Epic Incredulity.
Yeah, Joe. On Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Nope. On Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Clapper.
All of the stuff.
I might give up on the TikTok and the Clapper just because I don't know. I might. But I might not. I'm not sure.
We're on FaceTime.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. We might, I should say.
Announcement. I might just give up on this, or I might not. Who knows?
We'll find out.
I'm trying to set expectations by being like, don't have any expectations. That's kind of one of my main life MOs. Like, please don't expect things of me.
You know, that's basically the same vibe that I have.
Yes.
Or at least...
That's why you and I get along.
Yes. Among other reasons.
You don't have expectations, and I don't want people to have expectations of me. And you don't have any of me, which is great.
I don't have any of most people.
But it's extra great for me.
Joe, what's your expectation for me to say? Like, what do you expect me to say at the end of each show?
But Tank, though.
Oh, you got it.
Mulligan, we love him. But Tank, Joe! That's the Epoch. I'm tired.
But Tank.
No, really, I'm tired. What?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to cut this down to one episode length.
Oh, shit.
There's a little rambling. But at least still... Yeah. Anywho.
You know what? You actually didn't do a single fart sound effect, and...
Dude, I like the thing...
I know you... Thank
Flush it all down the toilet, you fucks. Cash it out. Cash me outside. Cash me outside, Joe. Anyways, okay? That's the Epoch, you fuckers.
Alright, we love
Jesus.
Oh, my face hurts.